Hi, everyone, and welcome to Leading Teams Well. I'm Paul Bro, and today I want to walk you through the 7 stages of organizational leadership and show you the one stage most leaders skip, even though it's going to make all the difference. All the difference. And Alice in Wonderland, Alice asked the cat, "Which way should I go from here?" And the cat responds, "Well, that depends a good deal on where you want to go." Alice says, "I don't much care where." And the cat replies, "Then it doesn't matter which way you go." I love that. That's where many leaders are today. They're moving, they're busy, making decisions, but they're not always sure they're headed in the right direction. And more importantly, they're not sure the direction will actually lead to meaningful results. Therefore, I'm going to share with you a simple but profound framework, a journey that great leaders follow when they create real, lasting change. These aren't rigid steps, not slogans, they're stages, a natural progression you move through if you're willing to be led. That's the operative word, led, not just by strategy, but by something way deeper. Let me overview the 7 stages, then I'll go through each stage briefly. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting the subscription button and bell. That way, you get practical insights each time I share a new video about building healthy and productive teams. It's the singular focus of this channel. So, let me overview the framework quickly. As you can see, stage 1, frame the challenge. Stage 2, recognize your call. Stage 3, mobilize your allies. 4, basically, you have to develop the plan, cross the threshold. We'll talk about that. 5, implement the plan. 6, enable change. And 7, reflect on the journey. So let's look at each stage briefly. Stage 1, frame the challenge. Every organizational leadership journey tends to start here. You're facing something, an opportunity, a challenge, a crisis. Your role as a leader is to name it clearly, bring candor to the conversation, make sense out of it, because clarity is the starting point of change. Stage 2, recognize your call. This is the stage most leaders skip, and it's the one that matters most. Once you understand the challenge, the question becomes, listen up, how am I being called to lead? Not, what do I prefer? Not, what's the best strategic analysis process to chart my strategy? Did that for many years early in my career. But the question instead is, what is actually required of me? In the surrender experiment, Michael Singer describes his life as a series of moments where he let go of personal preferences, A Wild Ride, a great book, and responded to what life was asking of him. That's the decision every leader faces. Do I lead from my preferences or do I lead from my calling? How you answer that question will lead to very different destinations. Because when you step into your calling, a vision does emerge, different, very different than the trajectory of your preferences. Not perfectly, certainly not all at once, but clear enough to take the next step. And the leaders who embrace the stage are the ones who create extraordinary outcomes. Stage 3, mobilize your allies. This is a really interesting stage. You're not meant to do this alone. In fact, what you're being called to is beyond your individual capability. So the right people begin to show up, actually happens. You find your key team members or they find you. Same with other partners and other allies. And over time, all of you begin to believe in the same call. That's when something very powerful begins. Stage 4, you have to develop the plan, of course. Now the vision is clearer, you translate that into a plan, a clear direction, strategic focus, set of priorities, related goals. This is where you start to lead with clarity and that clarity finally becomes actionable. And then becomes a defining moment, the point where you and your team say, "We are all in." This is the threshold you must cross, where you move from planning to real change, from safety to uncertainty. And once you cross it, the game is absolutely on. Stage 5, implement the plan. Now you can execute finally. Take action. You're going to face resistance. Stay persistent. This is where leadership gets tested because it will absolutely get hard. And what you learn about yourself here really matters. Stage 6, enable the change. At this stage, real transformation has happened. You can see it. You're not just doing things, you're helping people become different. You are becoming different. You're shifting mindsets. You're overcoming the resistance. You are calling forth courage in others, and I might add yourself. This is where change becomes real because you are actually creating a new order of things. Then stage 7, you reflect on the journey. Finally, once the change has been realized, you step back, you reflect not just on what has been achieved, but on who you are becoming. And that reflection prepares you for the next level of leadership and the next challenge. Yes, it starts over again. So, what's the big idea about these 7 stages? Great leadership is not just about doing more, it's about moving through the right stages in the right way. Above all, not skipping the moment where you pause and recognize your call, accept it, embrace it, because that's the stage that shapes everything that follows. If you want help applying this to your own leadership, you can download the 7-stage handout below. You can also explore my online course, Build Your Dream Team, or book a call with me, also linked below. So thank you for watching. And remember, you're meant to do extraordinary things as a leader, and you deserve and need an extraordinary team by your side. So until next time, lead well.